Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Lady Golf and you're watching Mom to Mom. Today we will be reading 1 Samuel chapter 26. And that is speaking of David and Saul. Let's get right to it, if you'll let me. Need my glasses. And it reads, and I'm using the English Standard Version, David spares Saul again. 1 Samuel 26:6. Then David said to Ahimelech the Hittite and to Joab's brother Abishai the son of Zeruiah, who will go down with me into the camp to Saul? And Abishai said, I will go down with you. So David and Abishai went to the army by night, and there lay Saul sleeping within the encampment, with his spear stuck into the ground at his head, and Abner and the army lay around him. Then Abishai said to David, God has given your enemy into your hand this day. Now please let me pin him to the earth with one stroke of the spear, and I will not strike him twice. But David said to Abishai, do not destroy him, for who can put out his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? And David said, as the Lord lives, the Lord will strike him, or his day will come to die, or he will go down into the battle and perish. The Lord forbid that I should put out my hand against the Lord's anointed. But take now the spear that is at his head and the jar of water, and let us go. David and Saul have always had a problem. Saul was jealous because it was told to him that David was God's anointed. But the thing is, David had not been put in place as of yet. So Saul was very jealous of David. He was jealous because David, when he went out to battle, he killed more people. He was jealous because people were always speaking so highly of him. Someone's always jealous. Someone's always, as people say, hating. Someone's always upset. Someone's always envying. Someone's always coveting. And it seems like it's always against the righteous and holy people of God, or those who are kind-hearted or soft-spoken, things of that nature. And you could be doing nothing at all, and people will hate you. You could be doing everything right, and people will hate you. You could be minding your own business, and people will hate you without cause, just because you're walking upright before the Lord. So David was smart. God called David a man after God's own heart. God gave him wisdom in handling different situations. So it puzzled me how he said, well, we know where Saul's at. Who's gonna go with me? So it seems like for a split second that he was like, okay, I'm gonna catch him when he's slipping. But I feel like he knew what he was gonna do when he got there. He knew that there was a witnessing opportunity there, a wisdom opportunity, I'll say that. And so he went anyway, and he took his friend with him. So everybody, it's good to have that bout it friend, or that ride or die friend. I have a couple of those. But somebody who's willing to fight with you, who's willing to pray with you, who's willing to go to war with you in the spirit. It's good to have that person. So David got that person, and he went down to the camp. He said, I ain't scared. And so the thing is, God had put them in a deep sleep. And so just think about it. What if David would have made the wrong decision? Because at this time, Saul was anointed and appointed by God. Now, God had already said that another will arise, which is David. But at the time, Saul was the one that was in charge at the moment. And we have to realize that even if God gives us a promise, even though we have purpose, even though God has a plan for our life, it's all in his perfect timing. You can't jump the gun and say, oh, well, it's me. I'm up for that promotion, so I'm going to start now. I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to start now. God told me I'm going to build me a church. I'm a pastor. I'm going to evangelize. God told me that I'm going to go across the seas and heal the nations, and so on and so forth. He may have, but you have to wait on his perfect timing, and you have to use wisdom and understanding of God. So he went down there and everybody was asleep. And, his ride or die buddy, he's ready. He said, you know what? Let me kill him. You ain't even got to have the blood on your hands. Let me kill him. I'll do it. And David told him this: how could I ever strike God's anointed and be guiltless? So even though Saul was full of sin, full of hate, full of envy, full of jealousy, he was appointed for the time. How dare David strike him down or kill him or move him out of the way so that he can be promoted, so that he can rise up, so that he can receive a platform? How dare he? And so what I got from that is, you are God's anointed. You are God's chosen. Don't worry about those around you who are trying to harm you. God will handle them. Because how dare they put their mouth on you? How dare they put their hand against you? How dare they speak against you and plot against you? How dare they? And if they do, of course, no weapon formed against us will prosper. But if they do, as David said, how can they remain blameless or guiltless? God will handle them. So the word for today is just be encouraged, because whenever you're trying to do something great for the Lord, the enemy is always present. When I want to do good, evil is always right there. But we have to stay strong. We have to stay vigilant. We have to have discernment. We have to have wisdom. We have to use the tools that God has given us to survive. So, mommy, don't worry about what someone else has. Don't worry about the house. Don't worry about the car. And I've been there, so that's why I can say it. Don't worry about the clothes. Don't worry about the food. The Bible says, don't worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to drink or what you're going to wear. God provides for the birds. You think he ain't going to provide for you? Whom he formed and made with his own hands out of the dust of the earth? He will provide. He will make a way. He will allow you to rise up if you stay firm and hang in there. Hang in there. I always say you got this, because I want moms to know, I want women to know that no matter what tough times come our way, we got this. As long as we hold on to him, as long as we follow after Christ, as long as we put him first, he will lead us, he will guide us, he will show us everything we need to know. He will show us everything we need to do. Don't get caught up in the mom gossip. Don't get caught up in the who's circles. Don't get caught up in who got more money than you. Don't get caught up in those things. But the Bible says think on these things, things that are lovely, things that are true, things that are just, and so on and so forth. Think on those things. God bless you. Until next time, you got this.